What would people take more seriously if it had a different name? Before we begin, do us a favor by clicking that like button, and subscribe to our channel for more top Reddit stories every day. Radiation burns, not sunburns. Star damage. I know it's obvious that the sun is hot, but if you really stop and think about it, it's fucking insane. Like, compare how much heat you feel radiating off of a campfire. It's pretty intense, but if you back up like 3 feet it fades away. This fucking sun is millions of miles away and can still burn your skin. It's bananas. Edit. Beneath this comment is 100 replies from people who are smart enough to know the real science behind the sun's heat but not smart enough to see that 99 other people already made that comment. It's a little bright ball in the sky millions of miles away, and if you can see it, it can burn you from being in it too long. Like, what the fuck? The only safe way to enjoy it is indirectly. Corporate welfare, not bailouts. Fun fact, the government has made money on the bailout of the banks in 2008. Lost $11.2 billion on the GM bailout. Well, the GM bailout was blatant corruption. What's worse, the feds got all up in Ford's business, saying hey, you need to take this money too. Only, after that we own your soul. Ford said GFY and survived, only they don't get much credit for being a fucking boss during a catastrophic time. I have no evidence for this, but I think Ford didn't accept for marketing purposes. They were in with GM and Dodge, putting together the proposal for the bailout, and then backed out at the last minute. Growing up in Indiana, a lot of Chevy guys started buying F-150s after that. Terms for concussions and their effects. When people talk about a boxer's chin getting worse, what they mean is that this person has incurred more brain damage, making it harder for him to take a punch. A boxer who is knocked out took a shot to the head that shut his brain down. He did not go to sleep. A person who's had their bell rung just got some brain damage, etc. Even silly movie stuff like a guy knocking out his friend to shut him up, and then the friend is okay a few scenes later. No, that person would likely be throwing up and stumbling around if that really happened. Even the term mild traumatic brain injury is slightly misleading. It's mild compared to moderate brain injury, which is only mild in relation to moderate brain injury, which I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. Source: am a hobbyist boxer currently recovering from a concussion, EA brain damage. Seriously, there was a period where I had 11 concussions in about 4 years. The doctor told me if I have another it'll be permanent damage and I'll never function right again. It's all permanent. I'm already not how I used to be. Concussions are serious. I had a brutal concussion in high school and at the time never thought much of it, but recently my mom told me my personality drastically changed around that time, and I'm starting to think that was where my mental health problems started. Wear a helmet, kids. I had some brutal concussions every year I played football in high school. It's only been 4 years since, but definitely have a different personality as well. Also a lot of random splitting headaches since my last one. Every time I had one my coach said I was fine and put me back in. Hell, I don't even remember half of a game because of one of them. This is huge. I feel like it needs to be drilled into students' heads when they first sign up for football that you are very likely to sustain many multiples of blows to the head during your time playing football, which will more likely than not affect you negatively for the rest of your life. This was the main factor in me not playing football. I've been skateboarding for about 19 years, never hit my head one single time. I have friends who played football for 3 years or less and have multiple concussions. Concussions scare the fuck out of me, and it's downright criminal to not drill into students' heads that they most likely will definitely suffer multiple concussions should they choose to play football. Fanny packs. It could have been like utility pouch or hell, even shitkeeper would be better than fanny pack. Edit. Holy hell y'all, I think I'm actually gonna rock one. I read a lot of your guys' responses and here's some solid names. Nutruck, Chaos, Poucher, Koala, the Ho to Go, and my personal favorite, the Douchebag. I'm contemplating getting one and sewing it's a douchebag onto it. Thanks all. We call them bum bags in the UK, but that's also because fanny has a very different meaning here. vagina valuable carrier, scooter container, wizard sleeves special pocket, ming sack, gash bag, snatch satchel, the pantaloon pouch, ham wallet, snatches rofle. This one takes the cake, snatches the cake, puts cake in my snatch. Did I do it right? Photographs or it shan't not harvest hadn't happened. That's what she said. One of my friends recently got degloved. He lost all the skin on his arm, all the way up to his shoulder. You didn't have to type this. You didn't have to put this image in my head. My textbook in medic school had a photo of a degloved penis in it. You should have heard the collective ooh fuck from my 95% male classmates as they turned to the page. Broom rape, the crop failure that plant genus causes and how dangerous it is because of it, is highly overshadowed by that ridiculous name. Edit. I've never seen a single episode of 13 Reasons Why and all the mentions of the show are both confusing and terrifying. Broom rape sounds fucking painful though. I'm assuming it isn't with the fun end. I don't think there is a fun end on a broom. Maybe not on your broom. Either end of the broom is the fun end, depending on your sense of adventure. Ta are probably sub-editors for both. Constantly at war too. I remember the rivalry between r/broom whisk rape and r/broomstick rape. It was relentless. Once it started overflowing into other subs, they shut that shit down. This whole comment thread should get gold lol. Probably already quarantined or banned. It's been 5 hours and no links. Consider me disappointed. Try telling that to my Quidditch erotic fanfiction cast. Not in relation to the bumhole, no. Not with that attitude. Witches would disagree. There is no lube in the broom closet, only brooms and pain. DuckDuckGo. I think I would use it more if it had a less ridiculous name. Same with GoDaddy. When that first came out I thought it was a porn site. Edit. This whole time I thought that DuckDuckGo was also a domain host. Still though, GoDaddy is terrible. It's not like their commercials did a lot to dispel that notion, right? I totally remember being a 6th grader and saw a commercial and figured it was cool for porn to be marketed in TV. Was confused when I actually went on the site. GoDaddy's whole marketing campaign was absolutely cringeworthy, like it was dreamt up by prepubescent virgins who found SSE Sports Illustrated once. Marijuana strains, especially concerning medicine. People would take a name like Canoxapram much more seriously than OG Unicorn Blood Kush. Edit. For those asking, sorry but not a real strain, thought it would be a good name for a strand while watching Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. 100% this. As a prescribed medicinal user myself, it's weird that my medicine is called Super Lemon Haze. Smile. Self-diagnosed user here. South London doctors are prescribing things like cookies, Skittles, gelato. It's hard to take them seriously as professionals, not to be an asshole, but it's probably equally as hard to take you seriously as a self-diagnosed user, and I'm saying this as someone who used in this way for years. Edit. Missed the sarcasm, my bad. Borderline personality disorder sounds so mild. It isn't. Edit. Thanks for the gold, kind stranger. And, a different kind of thanks to all the replies describing BPD as terrifying, which isn't a fun way to think of oneself. Edit 2. I wasn't trying to say that terrifying isn't accurate. It absolutely is. It just isn't fun to think about the fact that I'm terrifying. Like you're right on the verge of having a personality. Sounds like you're on the verge of having a disorder. Like oh it's kind of a disorder but it's borderline. Instead it's like I'm on the verge of actually making friends but can't form meaningful connections unless I'm on meds. I almost have personality disorder, but I'm not there yet. Nobody. Didn't some journalist go around asking people about the Affordable Care Act and Obamacare and got different responses from people like they were two different things? Journalist: so what do you think of the ACA? Person: oh it's great, I'm all for it. Journalist: and Obamacare? Person 1: fuck it to hell. It was the Jimmy Kimmel crew, not a journalist. But you're pretty much right otherwise. Interviews start at 0:50. Here's a relevant article that also includes the video. Edit. Here's an even better article that supports Kimmel's bit. Additionally, polls have verified this is real, not just cherry-picked for a skit. If you ask people the local name for the ACA program, Apple Health in WA, connect in Kentucky, etc., they are more likely to find it favorable compared to Obamacare. Dental plaque. Yolmfas are good with leaving that shit on and in between your teeth for hours, days, and weeks on end. Guess what? That stuff is bacteria that ate your food, and possibly teeth, and grew into a community of their own poop, dead and live bacteria, and leftover food. It's like wiping your ass after a good dump, but you're okay with leaving that shit clinging to your anus. Gross. So, I call it dental poo. That way my patients are more apt to brush and floss it off. TL Doctor, you eat pieces of shit for breakfast? Edit, you're making me proud. BRB, I gotta go brush my teeth. I'm not kidding. Fucking same. Get an electrical toothbrush then. The ads about them removing plaque multiple times better than a traditional toothbrush aren't exaggerating. They really do. The name also makes it incredibly difficult to explain hyperfocus to people. You just did X activity for 6 hours straight. How do you have ADHD? Well, that activity was my entire world for those 6 hours. I didn't hear or see or feel anything outside of that for those 6 hours. Nothing else existed to me. When I finally came out of the fugue state, I realized I was incredibly hungry, thirsty, physically uncomfortable, and I would piss myself if I didn't get to the toilet in the next 17 seconds, which is why I had to change my pants. This comment resonates with me so much. I've been there, and done that, so often. A lot of people don't understand just how much an adhara a person can buckle down and work. It just depends on if the task clicks. My record is 38 hours 10 p.m. Friday noon Sunday, on an emergency project during South by Southwest. No sleep, no breaks other than water and power bars I was carrying with me. I know it's unhealthy, but I honestly didn't notice it at the time. I wasn't tired, I didn't slow down, I didn't mess anything up. But when I got a lift home, I know not to drive sleep deprived, even if I feel fine, and sat down. It only took about 20 minutes for me to crash so hard it made me puke. I slept through the next day, and woke up at 6 a.m. the day after. Spent the rest of the month on the best sleep schedule I've ever been on, 10:30 p.m. to 6 a.m. without alarms. But sometimes, it takes an emergency for anything to click. It's taken years for me to get my own brain under control enough to just slog through boring stuff that I have to do. But if someone calls me in a panic, and they need something in what I should tell them is an impossible time frame, I am on that like pigeons on a statue, which tells me my brain still has a lot of work left. Edit, and I just got my first gold because I'm replying to things on Reddit, instead of focusing on cleaning my shop like I'm supposed to. I love this site. Thank you for watching this fantastic story. Please tap one of the 4 videos on the screen for another amazing top Reddit stories.